Skylar Diggins said, "You better come ready to play." And today, the Seattle Storm came ready to play. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show, where we love Seattle pro sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and today we are here to talk about the Seattle Storm's win over the Atlanta Dream, 85-81. And I alluded to it in the intro of today's episode. I didn't get to record an episode after the Seattle Storm versus the Washington Mystics the other day, but I'm sure you've seen the post-game press conference there with Skylar Diggins-Smith. If you haven't, go look it up. She was fiery. She was passionate. She dropped a handful of F-bombs in a minute span, And what she said was true. This team was not coming ready to play. I mean, after that game, they were 1-3 after the Olympic break, which is not okay for this team, especially the way they were losing. Right? They did not look ready to play. They were often, even when getting a lead, they would just easily give it up and have no fight to hold on to it or to get back into it. It was really hard to watch. I don't know what is going on since the break, but they have not had it together. Skylar Diggins-Smith called it out in the press conference, and they at least started today's game, and responded to that. They came ready to play. They started out with a 13-point lead early in the game, but again, there was stretches in here, where they didn't look like they were ready to play. I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on since the All-Star break, but something just isn't quite right. For all the talent that is on this team, that was on this team already, and now you add another Olympian, a silver medalist Olympian from these Olympics. You add that to the team after the Olympics, and they're struggling the way they are. It's very odd. But at least today we do pick up the win, so we can at least put W in the W column and feel good about that. And we can feel good about the shooting today. You know what? One of the biggest things for me is Jewel Lloyd. She has just been off this year. I believe they called it out in the broadcast today that her shooting percentage is like 10% lower than last year. That's a huge drop off. So she just has not been consistent all year. But today, Jewel Lloyd did Jewel Lloyd things. 28 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. She was 5 for 8 from 3-point, 8 for 22 field goals. So, not a big high percentage on the field goals, but of course, she always gets to the line as well. She was 7 for 7 from free throws. That's the other thing. She doesn't just shoot the three. She can drive. She's aggressive, and she can draw the fouls. And she was doing that today. And then she was, again, just the fact that she was actually hitting some threes today makes a big difference. Because there's plenty of games where she's only making 1 or 2, but taking like in double-digit attempts, and still only making 1 or 2, which is you can't be doing that. I know modern analytics say, "Oh, just shoot the three more often," because you know the average percentage of 3 points made, you know, it makes up for the amount you miss. Like in fact, you gain points in the long run. Um, but when you're shooting the percentage that Jewel Lloyd has been, and this that the Seattle Storm in general have been this year, then the analytics work against you because then you are losing out on points. But thankfully, again, today, they shot 47% from 3 point range as a team. Yeah, you like to see that. You you want to hear that sort of number more often. I know throughout most of the season it's been below 25%, and that's just not sustainable, especially when we get to the playoffs. That's not gonna cut it. But again, Jewel Lloyd did great today. Let's call out some more good numbers from Skylar Diggins Smith. Again, she had that fiery, passionate press conference the other day, and she put up 16 points, 3 blocks, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Yeah, she wasn't going to go have a press conference like she did the other day and then not come ready to play. She was ready to play. Neka Wumake, 18 points, a block, a steal, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. She was on it today too. She was 1 for 2 from 3, 8 for 15 field goals. So, she had her shot today. That was good to see. And then, like I said, the rest of the team, again, that's why I say there were still parts of this game today where they didn't look quite ready. Again, they won this game 85 to 81. As I said, at early in the game, they had at one point had a 13-point lead. And in fact, in many of these 5 games that they've played since coming back from the All-Star break, they've had leads like that, 10-point leads, 16-point leads that they have just let slip away and then lose the game. So thankfully, they don't do that today. They're still able to hold on to the win, but they're not able to stay consistent enough throughout the game to hold on to a bigger lead and dominate the way they should and that way that we expect them to. Again, Atlanta Dream, they do have talent on this team, right? And we know they do because Tina Charles, one of our legends, plays there now, right? And they have Alicia Gray. They have Howard. They've got really good players there. But that being said, they're 10-20 this year, and you're struggling against them again. To me, the Seattle Storm, like I said at the beginning of this season and throughout this season, I've said this is the Seattle Superstorm. Well, they have not been playing like a super team since the All-Star break. Not since the All-Star break, the Olympic break. They're playing like they got hit by a storm, by a superstorm, that's for sure. But they're not playing like one. So hopefully they can get it together here. I mean, we're 10 games. 10 games left to go. Is what I should say. There's 10 games left in the season, and just looking at what's left, you got a tough road ahead of you. We got a couple of games against New York. We got a couple of games against Connecticut. And then sure, down the stretch, you get Los Angeles. Dallas hasn't been playing good. But but you still have to. We're still going to have a couple games against Phoenix. We still got a game against Las Vegas. You know, the last 10 games here, they're not going to be easy. You know, and again, this is going to be a lot to do, or these games are going to have a lot to do with um the standings at the end of the season here. And again, right now we're sitting in fourth place. Can you move up and get third? You know, can you do something that is going to get you, you know, in a position where you are not playing the Aces in the first round? That, that would be ideal. Um so I don't know. And here's the other thing. Caitlin Clark has just been playing lights out, right? And that's a team with the way Caitlin Clark is playing. I don't want to see her in the playoffs. I don't want to have to play against Caitlin Clark in the playoffs. And uh, you're fighting having to play them early in the playoffs right now too, with the way things are going. So, you know, no, not really. I guess now that I'm looking at it, I mean, we'd have to either the Fever would really have to play. They'd have to really explode, and the Aces just would have to implode. I don't see either of those things happen, but I guess it could. Either way, with where we're positioned right now, uh, we're positioned to go up against some teams that I would really not want to see in the first round of the playoffs. So the Storm need to get it together. Again, they got the win today, but it's not one that I feel super great about, given the opponent and given how they did let a big lead slip away again. But hey, I'm happy about the win. Uh, you know, there are some good signs that we can take away from this, like again, Jewel Lloyd actually having numbers that we're used to seeing her have. Hopefully, this is the start of consistency through the rest of the regular season and then into the playoffs, because that is, her playing well is really going to be a big factor in whether we, get deep into the playoffs or not. If Jewel Lloyd is not, even though we're super team, we have all these other players around her this year, she really should be the offensive focal point. And if she's not playing well, then, we're not going to get far into the playoffs. But, hopefully today is the start of more good things to come down the stretch here. All right. Well, that was your Seattle Storm. Picked up a win. Happy to see it. And let's keep it going. All right. Let me know what you thought of this game. I know Jordan Horson was out with illness in this one. Maybe that would have played a difference as well. Hopefully she's going to recover quickly. We really want to see this team playing together and build the chemistry, because Gabby Williams is, just joining the team. So you really want to establish what our rotation is going to be, establish the chemistry between the players who are going to be on the court with each other before we get into the playoffs. So, let me know what you were thinking of this game and what you saw out of the players on the court. All right, and when everybody's healthy, what do you think the starting lineup should be? What do you think the rotation should be? Let me know. All right. Okay, well, that's going to be the episode for today. So thanks for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken. So take cover, because with a sea of sound, you'll see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.